Have you ever had one of those days where everything just seems to go wrong? You spill coffee on your shirt, miss the bus, and then realize you forgot your wallet. Well, take all that bad luck, multiply it by 1,000, and you might get close to the story of Frane Selak. This Croatian music teacher is often called the unluckiest man in the world. But as you'll see, his story has a twist that's so unbelievable it sounds like it's straight out of a Hollywood movie. In fact, his tale is so wild, he might just be the luckiest unlucky person to ever live. Stick around, because you won't believe the series of near-death experiences this man survived, and how it all culminated in him becoming an accidental hero. Our story begins in 1962. Frane was traveling on a train from Sarajevo to Dubrovnik. It was a cold, rainy day, and the train was chugging along a scenic route next to a freezing river canyon. Suddenly, without warning, the train derailed and plunged straight into the icy water. Panic erupted as the carriages filled with water. Frane, along with many other passengers, was trapped. He managed to smash a window and swim to safety, but he suffered a broken arm and hypothermia. 17 other passengers weren't so lucky. It was a tragic accident, but for Frane, it was just the beginning of his bizarre dance with death. You'd think an experience like that would make you swear off public transport, right? Well, not Frane. Just 1 year later, in 1963, Frane decided to fly for the first time. He was on a small plane flying from Zagreb to Rijeka. Everything seemed fine until mid-flight, a door suddenly blew off the side of the aircraft. The sudden depressurization sucked Frane right out of the plane. Imagine that. 1 minute you're sitting in your seat, and the next you're free falling from thousands of feet in the air without a parachute. This is where the story gets truly insane. As he plummeted towards the ground, expecting the worst, he miraculously landed in a giant haystack on a farm. The plane itself crashed, killing 19 people. Frane woke up in a hospital with only minor injuries. He survived a fall that should have been fatal, thanks to a conveniently placed pile of hay. At this point, you have to wonder if he had a guardian angel working overtime. After cheating death twice, you'd think life would give the guy a break. No. Fast forward to 1966. Frane was now, understandably, sticking to buses. He was on a bus trip when, you guessed it, disaster struck again. The bus skidded off a bridge and plunged into a river. 4 people drowned. But Frane? He managed to swim to the shore with just a few cuts and bruises. 3 major transport accidents in 4 years, and he walked away from all of them. It's almost comical if it weren't so terrifying. By now, people were starting to call him both the unluckiest and the luckiest man alive. He had survived a train crash, a plane crash, and a bus crash. What could possibly happen next? Well, Frane decided to take matters into his own hands and started driving a car. Surely he'd be safer if he was in control, right? Wrong. In 1970, his car's engine caught fire while he was driving. He managed to jump out just moments before the fuel tank exploded, turning the car into a fireball. He escaped without a scratch. Then, just 3 years later, in 1973, another car-related incident occurred. A faulty fuel pump sprayed gasoline all over his new car's hot engine, and flames shot through the air vents. This time, he had lost most of his hair, but otherwise he was unharmed. He had now survived 2 car fires. At this point, if you were Frane's friend, you'd probably avoid getting in a car with him at all costs. For the next 2 decades, it seemed like Frane's streak of bad luck had finally ended. Life was quiet, normal even. He probably thought his days of dodging death were over. But fate, it seems, wasn't quite done with him. In 1995, he was walking down a street in Zagreb when he was hit by a city bus. He was knocked unconscious but miraculously sustained only minor injuries. It's like a running joke at this point. Even as a pedestrian, he couldn't escape a transport-related accident. But the universe saved the most dramatic incident for last. In 1996, Frane was driving through a mountain pass. As he rounded a blind corner, he saw a huge United Nations truck hurtling straight towards him. There was no time to stop. His only choice was to swerve towards the cliff edge. His car crashed through the guardrail and went flying off a 300-foot cliff. In a split-second life-or-death decision, Frane did something incredible. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and just as the car went over the edge, he jumped out. He managed to grab onto a tree growing on the side of the cliff and watched in horror as his car plummeted to the bottom and exploded. He literally hung on for dear life until he was rescued. He had stared death in the face yet again and somehow, someway, had won. After surviving 7 near-fatal disasters, Frane Selak became a national celebrity in Croatia. His story was so unbelievable that many people questioned its authenticity. But the incidents were documented in news reports and official records over the years. He was the man who just wouldn't die, so how does this make him a hero? Well, the hero part of his story is a bit more subtle and accidental. Through his sheer, stubborn refusal to give up, Frane became a symbol of resilience. His story spread, offering a strange kind of hope. If a man could survive all of that, then surely we can get through our own bad days. But the real twist, the part that truly cements his legendary status, came in 2003, 2 days after his 73rd birthday. Frane Selak bought a lottery ticket for the first time in 40 years. And what happened? He won. Not just a small prize either. He won the jackpot, equivalent to about $1 million. The unluckiest man in the world had suddenly become one of the luckiest. It was the universe's way of finally saying, okay, you've been through enough. Here's your reward. Now, what would you do if you won $1 million after a lifetime of near-death experiences? Buy a private island? A fortress? Frane's decision is what makes him a true hero in my book. He bought 2 houses and a boat, but then he did something extraordinary. He gave away the rest of his fortune to family and friends. He said that money could never buy happiness and that all he needed was his wife, Katarina. He chose a simple, quiet life over wealth and fame. He believed his real luck wasn't the money, but the fact that he was still alive to enjoy his life with the people he loved. His friends joked that if he was on the Titanic, he would have survived that too. Frane Selak's life teaches us an incredible lesson. It's not about avoiding trouble, because sometimes trouble finds you. It's about how you react when it does. It's about resilience, gratitude, and finding joy in the simple things. He looked death in the eye 7 times and not only survived, but came out of it with a profound appreciation for life itself. He wasn't a hero in the traditional sense. He didn't run into a burning building to save anyone. His heroism was in his endurance and his ultimate choice to value love and life over money. Frane Selak, the unluckiest lucky man, is a testament to the incredible, unpredictable, and sometimes ridiculously absurd nature of human existence. So the next time you're having a bad day, just remember Frane Selak. Remember the man who fell out of a plane into a haystack and drove his car off a cliff only to grab onto a tree. His story reminds us that no matter how bad things seem, there's always a chance for a lucky break, and sometimes the greatest prize is just being here to see another day. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this incredible story, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing tales from history. See you in the next video.